Hi, honeys. Welcome to Books and Hauls with Michelle. This is my fourth book vlog video, and I'm kind of late to the game. It's already Tuesday, and I usually start them on Monday morning. I don't know what's going on. I've just been in a bit of a reading slump. I'm still reading A Ring of Endless Light by Madeleine L'Engle, and I'm still loving it. I think I've read like 20 books, or 20 books. That would be impressive. I think I've read 20 pages since yesterday. That's it. I mean, yesterday and today, which is fine, right? It's funny. It seems like everybody's on a bit of a reading slump right now, and I don't know why. We just all are. That's okay. So, what I wanted to tell you, though, about this is I was trying to remember what it was that really changed my life about this book. And there's a couple things that stand out already. She's really close with her grandpa, and I was really close with my grandpa until he had dementia, and it got so bad that he didn't remember me anymore. But before that point, I was really close with him. He was like probably one of the closest friends I've ever had, you know? He was my person, or one of my people. And if you're like me, you don't have that many people that are like your actual people in life, you know? But anyway, so he gives her advice and they talk a lot, and it just brings back nice memories of my grandpa um, for all of high school and then into my 20s. I lived very close to my grandparents, and so it was nice to be able to spend time with them and go talk to them and just I loved living near them. I That's my biggest regret about moving away, was that I didn't live near them anymore. I'm gonna put lotion on my hands. You don't care, right? This lotion, I really like it. It says Emma Body Thirsting, and then, but I don't know, like, is that the brand? It came in a subscription box. It was Calm Box. I don't even know if they do Calm Box anymore. If they do, I was probably one of like three people to unbox it or something, because I never see it on YouTube. But anyway, I really enjoy this lotion. I like to keep it on my coffee table and then just put it on when I'm watching TV or sitting here reading or whatever. But so I didn't. What was I going to say? I'm bouncing all over the place in my head right now. One of the things that this book has kind of that I realized kind of affected me, though, growing up so far, is that um, I it inspired me to write poetry, and I wrote poetry. I don't know, not for too long, maybe a year or two, and I wrote probably 20 or 30 poems. And it's kind of funny. I had this English teacher. What was her name? I loved her. You know, like every once in a while, maybe if you'll get like a teacher who really believes in you, and just like, she was that person for me. And she put my one of my poems in the school paper in like junior high, and oh, she was a really wonderful lady. I should what I like I always wondered what happened to her. I should try to look her up. Anyway, then there was this romance novelist. I started reading her books when I was 13, and I read a bunch of her books. When I was 14, um, I just felt so inspired by her that I wrote a romance novel at 14 or 15. No, it's 14. Anyway, I wrote a romance novel. I still have it in storage somewhere. It's probably awful. I'm sure it's terrible. And it's probably really cheesy because I hadn't experienced any romance yet in my life. Anyway, so I write this romance novel, and I wanted to meet this romance novelist that inspired me so much. She was kind of one of the big ones when I was that age. Not like Danielle Steele big, but, you know, a tier below. A best selling romance novelist, not Harlequin, right? And I just thought she was just amazing. She was the bee's knees, you know. And my mom was, thank you, Mom, by the way, because I'm sure you're watching. My mom was nice enough to take me. There was a book signing. She had a new release, And my mom bought me the new book. It was the only hardback of hers I had. All the other ones I had were softback books, right? You know, the um, what are they called? Mass market paperbacks were all the other ones that I had of hers. But I had a hardback book, and I go down there, and there's nobody there. No line or anything. She's just sitting there at a folding table. And I thought, oh, how's nobody here? So I go up. I'm so excited. I got starstruck, you know. And my mom talks for me. She says, "This is my daughter Michele, and she's just loves your books, and she loves your books so much that she's been inspired to write her own, like to write books." And you know what she said to me? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I don't care. I don't have time for this. And she just signed my book and like kind of tossed it over at me. And like, I get it. It's not, everybody has bad days, and it's really not um her job to take care of my emotions or anything. But I was a 14-year-old kid, and I felt crushed. I mean, did I stop writing then? Like, I can't even remember if I stopped writing then or not. I even went to this is so funny, Writers of America meeting, and all the women that I met, some pretty high up novelists, and they were all kind of like, "What are you doing here? You're a child." It's like, what? To me, it seemed normal, but I mean, what are romance novels anyway? It's fantasy, and who has more wild fantasies about falling in love and meeting the one than a 14-year-old girl? Oh, it's okay. Uh, sorry. So, yeah, I don't know if that was why I stopped writing, or maybe it was the combination of the women at the Romance Writers of America group and her. It was just kind of like, maybe I'm just too young for this or something. I don't know. But why not start writing at a young age if you want to? Anyway, I lost all interest in writing sometime after that. And so I'm not going to say I blame that author, but it was pretty soon thereafter. I never read another book of hers again, and I threw that hardback book away, like in the garbage, threw it away. Didn't donate it, didn't sell it. Well, like, you didn't sell things online back then anyway. There was no internet yet. But still, I was so crushed by that. So if you're watching and you're famous in any way, which I don't know why anybody famous would be watching me, but if you are, what you looking for, sweetie? Oh, Brad's like gonna take a shower. He keeps like opening the door and like peeking out, and it's like he's looking for something, but I don't know what. Anyway, uh, if you are famous, or even if you have a YouTube page, like, gosh, think about how you might be affecting people when you meet them, and how you might make people feel, and how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as that jerk who, like, you know what, screw that person, I'll never be their fan again, I'm throwing their book in the garbage can? Which for me was like horrifying to feel that way about her. Somebody I built up as being this wonderful, nice person. Like, I don't even know how you write romance novels that good when you're this mean person. But anyway, maybe she was having a bad day. I don't know. I've had bad days. I get it, but still, I don't know that, like, you have that. I don't think you have that luxury as like being someone in the public eye, is like being that rude to your fans. Like, I know my mom had. I'm not going to say his name except to her if she wants to say who it was. But my mom had a famous football player be really rude to her one time when she wanted his autograph in an elevator at a fan convention, mind you. It was like the the Pro Bowl or something. So that's like a fan event, right? And she wanted this guy's autograph, and he was a complete, dick to her. And it's like, she hated him after that and was never a fan of his again. And why do why do people have to be that way? Like, you don't have to be that. You're in the public eye. We didn't ask you to be in the public eye. You chose to be. You're at a fan event. Both of those were fan events. The Pro Bowl is a fan event. Um, Me going to a book signing, like, that's a public fan event. I didn't walk up to her when she was eating dinner with her family or anything. Like, it's just so rude, right? So just wanted to put that out there. I think you should be nice to your fans, especially at fan events. My gosh, it's not asking a lot. I just, but I was just picking this up to read it again. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys about just that whole drawn out story about this book making me want to write poems, because she writes poems in this book, and she, um, when I was this age, like as a preteen and a teenager, I used to write in my journal a lot. I was very emotional and passionate about my feelings. I guess the same way I am now, but uh, and I loved writing poems. It was just such a important thing to me back then. And but this book inspired me to write poems, and so that might be one of the reasons it was life changing. And I wanted to tell you about it. And I'm gonna go pick it back up when I stop talking to you and read more. It's Thursday night. I've been reading a little more today. I really took a break the last few days from reading. No reason. I just did. I think he's looking at himself again. If you see a phone over there, that's Brad playing a game on his cell phone. Anyway, I am now on page 180, and oh, you're so cute. I can't ever get over it. And you've been in my life for so long now. 8 years we've been together. This book, if you love the ocean, if you love dolphins, if you love swimming, this book is for you. And it feels like a really fun adventure during the summer. And it's just fun reading this teenage girl going through her teenage life, you know, and the insecurities and all that kind of stuff, but staying near the ocean. And then she's got, well, they call it on the back of the book in the synopsis, they call it a love triangle. To me, it's a love square, because there's 3 guys who she has like a crush on, kind of, who she's interested in, or who she thinks are interested in her. And she's kind of confused about how she feels or who she likes or whatever. So isn't that a love square? Because I thought a love triangle is when it's 3 people. This is actually 4 people if you add her into the mix, right? There was a scene where I almost cried. I guess I did cry. I mean, I really teared up. I just didn't like have tears streaming down my face, but it was super emotional at one point. I don't want to give anything away. I still am just absolutely loving the relationship that she has with her grandfather. Martin really likes the fact that there's dolphins in the book, because he loves fish. Although I don't know that he would like dolphins in person. They're bigger than him, and he likes smaller fish. Fish that he can hunt and eat, and so on and so forth. So I'm about halfway through the book, and I'm just really loving it. I'm kind of feeling inspired to, this is actually a 5-part series, and this is book number 4. I've never read the first 3 or the 5th one. I don't really care about the first 3 because I feel like they kind of tell me in the book what happened in the first 3 books. The look on his face. He's looking at me like, what? But it's inspired me to read the 5th book after this, which is called Troubling a Star. And I might even think about rereading A Wrinkle in Time, because I know I liked that book too when I was younger, just not as much as this one. But good morning. Well, it's morning here, 9 a.m. I'm about 200 pages in, or just over that. I did a lot of reading last night, and I'm just kind of at that point where I'm getting really into the book, and I just want to, keep reading until I'm done. But a few things that stand out at this point is, one, there's one of the 3 guys that likes her, or that she likes. Some of them it's questionable, if they like her or not. But one of the 3 guys, for me, there's a lot of red flags there. And I don't think she sees them. And I understand, because I didn't see them when I was her age either. In fact, it took me a lot longer to figure out red flags when dating. But then she seems like she feels like she has to pick one of the 3. And of course, when I was her age, or even in my 20s, I would have felt that way too. Marty, where you going, boo? He was sitting next to me on the couch. He just jumped down. When I was her age, I felt the same way. But as I got older, of course now, my more mature brain is thinking, why do you have to pick any of them? You're so young. Why don't you just not worry about it? You don't have to be you don't have to have a boyfriend at your age. But I know when you're that age, you feel like you do. But the truth is, if I was her, I wouldn't pick any of them. There's one I probably might kind of consider if I was her. But once again, at her age, I think it's better to just be friends with everybody. Maybe go on dates, but not get serious. I don't know. If I could do it over again, I probably wouldn't have been as serious as I was about certain boys, But hindsight's 2020. The other thing that stands out about this book is the conversations that she has with people are a lot more mentally stimulating and a little bit deeper than the kind of conversations I normally read or see in books. And I'm really liking that, because it's more akin with the kind of conversations I tend to have with my friends or with Brad. I tend to like deeper conversations. And so I'm really enjoying that as well. Oh, and I got some friend mail, and I wanted to wait until I was with you to open it. Look at these cute kitties on the back. And this is from a viewer whose page name is Sally Owens. Oh, she sent me a St. Patty's Day card. Isn't that cute? Celebrate the day in proper Irish style. Oh, and then look, there's some really cute Hallmark kitty cat stickers, which I will definitely use. With the wearing of the green and the wearing of the smile, happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a fun day. Love your channel and your kitties. Love, Sally Owens. Thank you so much, Sally. I guess I should start, I guess it's a little late now, but next year, maybe I should start sending out Valentine's cards and St. Patty's Day cards. But thank you so much. I really love his card. It's so cute. I will definitely be putting this. I'm going to be doing a scrapbook of, I usually do them every year. And I've been kind of not doing them the last couple of years because, I don't know, it's just been, things are either up in the air, or last year it was just hard to get much done at all. But eventually I'll get my next scrapbook put together, and I put all the cards people send me in there. I never throw cards away. I keep them. I don't know. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I do. Good morning. It's Saturday, and I had to show you this. I just kind of made it with random stuff because I'm running out of food and I don't want to go to the grocery store. It's ground sausage, ground pork sausage, and I put some Velveeta cheese in here, like one of those packets at the Dollar Tree, and then a can of corn it's got, I can't remember the brand, but it's got peppers in it and onions, and then a can of diced tomatoes that has basil and oregano in it. And I just cooked the meat and then mixed everything together, and it's so good. It's really yummy. So what I'm going to do is spoon this onto a plate and then make some toast and have toast on the side with it. But can't wait to have breakfast. Hi, it's now Sunday night. I finished A Ring of Endless Light last night, and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to read this again at least once in my life. I would really like to read the next book in the series just to see what happened, which is the last book. And then maybe eventually I'll just start from the beginning and read all the way through. I'm also interested in reading A Wrinkle in Time. I know a few of you have mentioned how much you love that book since I started going down this whole Madeleine L'Engle path. But my gosh, what a good book. You guys, it's so deep. It really is. I would say a lot of people that love YA books now would love this book, and probably the whole series, because she's such a good writer. I think if you are younger than myself and you want to know what it was like being alive before the internet and before cell phones, this would be a really good book to read. I also think if you're my age or older and you want to go back to those days, this would be a good book to read. It's just nice to kind of cleanse our souls of all this technology, right? And it just feels so good to read books like this. That's why I want to reread some of my favorites as a kid. I did the video which I posted yesterday about my favorite childhood books, and I'm just loving the comments. Some of you guys are talking to each other and saying, "Oh my gosh, I love that book too." And that's why I'm here. Like, I love that kind of stuff. The discussions with you guys, and when you start chatting with each other, that's just what it's all about for me. So that makes me so happy. And I had so much fun with this. I think I am going to do a book video about books I loved as a teenager. And I'm trying to decide. I don't know when I'm going to do it though. I'm so scheduled with how I do YouTube now that I have to fit it into my schedule, because I'm so busy and stuff. I know. But oh my gosh, I felt very emotionally attached to some of the characters in here. And the last 50 pages of this book, I was so immersed in. I remember them. Once I was reading them, it was like I remembered them so vividly from when I was younger and I read this book, which is kind of cool. It's nice to have those memories of when you read something years ago. There's something so special about reading books that one read as a child or a teenager and having the memory of what you read come flooding back. It's like, I don't know, it feels kind of good. It's like this file, it's like sometimes you see movies where there's like an evidence locker, like way in the basement, like in the back of somewhere, in like some storage yard, and somebody has to go get it, and they're walking all the way to the back, and they open it up, and they go and they find the folder, and they blow the dust off, and they open it, and it's like, oh my gosh, there it is, there's all the information. That's kind of how I feel about my brain sometimes. It's like the whole time I was reading it, I was like going through the little, I walked all down the hallway, before I opened up the book, and then as I was reading it, I was like, I was going through the files, going through the card catalog, to see where in my brain different things were stored. And I just love that kind of feeling. So I never knew in the 80s when I was reading this book that I would one day wish I was back in the 80s again. I mean, none of us saw that coming, right? That everything would just so drastically change not that long later. We had no idea, did we? Or I didn't have any idea. And the nostalgia that we all have, those of us that were around in the 80s, about the 80s. It was such a good time. And obviously it wasn't perfect. There was bad things going on in the world too, but and even the 90s, the nostalgia that we all have. And I'm sure there's just something about the 80s and 90s, and I just wish I had appreciated it more while I was in it, because I had no idea that not just my life, but the world would change so drastically, and that there would be a serenity of those days that I would always crave from there on out. Kind of makes me want to go camping, just like shut everything off, just get away for a little bit, you know? Anyway, as you can see, I'm still in my pajamas. I mean, it's Sunday, and I haven't been feeling very good. Even though I'm feeling so much better, I'm still going to have a few days a month where I don't feel very good. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And I did film. So I have a book journal that I go into every time I read a book. I've got my little notes here in the front of the book with my little shorthand and different pages I want to take. I want to write what the author wrote in my little notes and all that kind of stuff. So I do that, and then of course I've got my little paper clip there that I use as my bookmark. And so what I do is I go and I sit down and I put all my thoughts about the book and how many stars I give it and how many pages it was and just all kinds of stuff in my book journal. And I decided when I did that today on this book to go ahead and film it, because I thought some of you might enjoy it. If not, that's okay. What I'm going to do is I will tell you what book I'm reading next. I will wrap up this video, and then after I say bye, I will start the part of me doing my journal with some music, over it. And so if you're not interested once I say bye, that's okay. You can go. I won't even know. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is Saving Fish from Drowning by Amy Tan. And it was so funny last night. Well, I don't know if it was so funny, but it was kind of funny. After I finished A Ring of Endless Light, I picked this up right away, and I was laying there, and she's got a foreword that the author that she wrote to the reader. And I swear I laid there for probably 45 minutes trying to read it, and I'm holding it, and I kept like falling asleep like with the book in my hand. Do you ever do that? So I don't even remember what she said. I should probably reread it. I don't know how many times I fell asleep and then kind of startled myself awake, but I have no idea what I read, and it was just a couple pages, but I've got to go back and reread it and then start the book. But I'm super excited about this book. So next week you will be able to see my experience reading this book. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and a wonderful rest of your week if you don't tune in again until next weekend or next Monday. I love you. Bye.